Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. As long as we are the victims of our conditionings, what are our conditionings? Our conditionings are the body, then the sense organs, organs of actions, the mind, the intellect, and the enjoyership. These are the conditionings. Now, as long as we are the victims of these, there is no possibility of anything higher than living as an individual, struggling to achieve something and frustrated to protect something. This is bound to be the lifestyle of such people. Now, the question is, how do we get out of this? So, in the 7th chapter, the teacher started the theme in Bhagavad Gita that whatever we are doing and how we should do is spelled out clearly in first 6 chapters. Now the thing is, whatever we are doing, for whom we are doing it? Are we doing it for strengthening our doership? Are we doing it to bring happiness from outside to us? Or we are doing it for some higher purpose? The purpose determines the quality of our life. If the purpose is selfish, of lower kind, then the quality of our life is very low. And if the purpose is something higher, then the quality of life is good. So what could be the highest purpose? The highest purpose is that whatever we are doing in this world or not doing, is it leading us to the proximity of our own divine nature? If that is happening, then everything is perfect. But if our activities, if our words, if our thoughts, if our experiences, they are taking us away from our divine nature, then we are going the wrong way. And therefore, in the 7th, 9th, 10th and 11th, in these chapters as well as right from the beginning, Bhagavan has spoken of 2-3 different aspects of the reality. First was the attributeless, formless reality. The second was the formless reality with attributes as the inner controller, etc. The third was the manifest reality, raso hamapsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashisureyo, or I am the Ashwatha tree among the trees, I am the Dhananjay among the Pandavas, or I am the Ganges among the rivers. In this manner, the truth is revealed with the form, without form, with attributes, without attributes. Then in the 11th chapter, the teacher as if showed the whole thesis together presented as Vishwarupa Darshan. With this, the 11th chapter concluded, where the teacher finally gave a word. Mat karma krut mat paramo mat bhaktaha sangavarjitaha nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu yassa mameti pandava. he who has thus lived his life exclusively for me, without any attachment to the world and the results thereof, because he is my devotee, and he doesn't have any enmity with anybody or anything in this world, such a devotee comes to me. He also has the same status as the divine reality. When this was explained, then Arjuna had a question. Because this is an eternal question. Whether we should follow the path of realization leading to the attributeless, formless reality, Nirgun Nirakar, or we should follow the path of the reality with attributes and with form, or with attributes and with no form. And in reply to this, Bhagavan Sri Krishna began his reply in the 12th chapter. And there he has very beautifully said, up to the 7th verse we have seen last time, that those who are living as body, for them understanding the reality without name and form, without attributes, is not so simple. Therefore, for such people, it is better that they follow the path of Saguna Sakar, the truth with attribute and with form. However, those who are able to get out of the body identification and focus their attention for something higher, for them there is a different path. And after having told this, in the 7th verse, the teacher told, so those who are following the path of reality as the reality with form and with attributes, Bhagavan says, Tesham aham sabuddharta. Because devotion with duality demands support from the reality. So they are all the time dependent on the grace of the Lord. Forgetting the Lord is very much in their own heart. So Bhagavan has to say, Tesham aham samuddharta. For such people, I definitely help them come out of the relativity. Meaning what? They are constantly dependent. And the dependency is the most miserable thing in this world. Now this is, having said this, now the teacher tells us, if you want to practice this ultimate, what is the ultimate? Getting out of the relativity and getting established in the absolute. This is the ultimate. If you want to follow that, I shall tell you the techniques. So here from 8th verse onward, Bhagavan gives us 4 alternatives, options. Which are those techniques by which we will be able to achieve this realization of the truth. So for that, in the 8th verse, the teacher says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Mayyeva Mana Adastva Mayi Buddhim Niveshaya Nivasishyasi Mayyeva Ata urdhvam na samshayaha. First we'll go according to Bhagavan's commentary. Mayi eva mana adhasva. The first statement, Mayi eva. Who is this I in me? Because we are reading 12th chapter after the 11th chapter. Therefore, Bhagavan is referring to me as the Vishwarupa. Because in the 11th chapter it was the Vishwarupa darshan. Therefore, Mayi eva Vishwarupe Ishvare. Now, what is the Vishwarupa Ishvara? Vishwarupa Ishvara includes both the aspects. The manifest God, Vishwarupa Ishvara, manifest God. Now, who is this manifest God? All that we see, names and forms, Ishavasamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. We were given the technique. 73 examples. That among the trees I am this, among the mountains I am this, among the yajna I am this. Like that, so many things were told. So there should not be any dearth to fix our mind in the Ishvara. So, Mai eva Vishwarupe Ishvare. Now the second is, this Ishvara is also as the inner controller, like it was said in the 7th and the 9th chapter. 7th chapter it was told 15 examples. That I am the rasa in the water, that means I am the essence of the 5 great elements, etc. Then in the 9th chapter, Bhagavan has told, I am the goal, I am the process, I am the mantra, I am the yajna, I am the purohit or the priest who is performing the yajna. And in this manner, I alone is in and through all the manifestation. Therefore, in that Ishvara, Vishwarupe Ishvare, Mana Adhasva. Now what is the Mana? Mind. Manaha, Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam. Now this is, the most beautiful aspect of our mind. If we can invoke that aspect, your spiritual practice begins. What is the mind? Mind does Sankalpa Vikalpa. Sankalpa means decide something. Let me start this thing now. Sankalpa. And Vikalpa, I don't think, so far I have never done this thing, how does it matter? Immediately the option comes. Vikalpa means option. So this is the quality of the mind. Now we decide. How do we invoke this quality of the mind? See, this is so important. Cobras are extremely poisonous. Now, simply because they are poisonous, we condemn them and kill them, or we utilize the poison and create the anti-venom serum, so that if somebody is bitten, he can be helped. In the same manner, yes, mind is sankalpa vikalpatmakam. Mind is constantly projecting, constantly deciding, constantly imagining. Very good. Now this ability of the mind can be employed in the Vishwarupa Ishvare. So go on projecting. What is the projection? Whosoever comes in my life is the Lord. Whatever happens is the Lord's grace. See? Like when I was coming, that when Sardarji comes regularly here, he throws some, bread pieces in that water for the fish. As coming, he got down with that thing in his hand. I said, Bhiksham Dehi, you are going to give it to me? So, he took out chocolates and gave me. And then he said, Swamiji Maharaj, you only told us who gives whom and what. The giver is he, the receiver is he, the given is he, the not given is he. Everything is Leela going on. And we have learned from him, from you people. And therefore those who have got that funny arrogance that we can give to something to somebody, one can feel only pity on them. When he said like this thing, I was keeping quiet. Then he did namaskar. So I said, come near. He came near. Then I kissed him. He said, the best gift I have ever got in my life. See, what is most important in life is recognition of this truth. And once you recognize the truth, by what? By the same mind which has suspected against everything. It is our mind alone which goes on suspecting. Somebody is good, somebody is bad, etc. It is the mind alone starts to, somebody is this, somebody is that. So if this is the quality of the mind, let us employ the quality in a creative manner. This is called as devotion. See? मयि एव विश्वरूपे ईश्वरे मनः संकल्प विकल्पात्मकम आधस्व स्थापय. Adhatsva means sthavaya. Firmly abide. Let your mind firmly abide in this Vishwarupa Ishvara. Now what it means therefore now? If you want to bring the whole thought in a simple statement, it means, according to Kenopanishad, Pratibodha viditam matam. Let every experience remind us of the divinity. This is the meaning of Mai eva mana adastva. Every experience. Now second, Mai eva adhyavasayam kurvatim buddhim adasva niveshaya. And similarly, Maya buddhim. The first mana, which is sankalpa vikalpatmakam, which is constantly projecting, imagining, suspecting, etc., that you get it established in the divine reality. That means one way or the other connect to the Lord. So, once we are able to do this, then all the time our mind is reveling in the divine thought. But the second problem is buddhim. Now what is the buddhi? Adhyavasayam kurvatim buddhi. So buddhi, intellect, is the faculty where decisions are taken. We decide. Now what do we decide in our life? We have to decide that. Are we going to decide to support the relative existence, or we are going to decide in the absolute reality? So if we are deciding in the relative existence, then the whole life will be a dependent one. See? Constantly crying and calling God, oh Lord, do this thing, I am getting late, let the train be late. Oh God, I am not getting ticket, let me get the ticket. Are? Constantly crying. So, buddhim adhyavasayam kurvatim buddhim adasva niveshaya. So let your intellect also be firm. Now put these two things together. Means what? Be firm that your mind doesn't go off the track. This is the meaning. Otherwise what happens, sometime our mind cooperates and then we get up in the morning with a nice tune on the mind, in the mouth, and everybody around is surprised. What is wrong? Normally when we get up it is only the barking. Wow. Today, ma'am sahab ko kya ho gaya? She is smiling. See? So these two things together. Let us be firmly committed to suspect divinity in and through every experience, every interaction. You know what will happen? If you can catch this point. When every experience reminds you of the same reality, what will happen? Experiences will keep on coming and going and you are established in the reality. But if every experience is reminding us of different things, then the mind will be jumping, dancing from object to object. And therefore, this is the technique. But who can do this? He whose mind is under his control. Who can do this? He who is committed to the spiritual life. Not otherwise. Mai eva vishwarupe ishvare manaha sankalpa vikalpatmakam adasva sthapaya mai eva adhyavasayam kurvatim buddhi adasva niveshaya. Then tatahati kim syad iti shruno. Now if this is done, what will happen? Suppose I fix my mind and intellect. So what? What will happen? Nivatsasi nischayana madatmana you will thereafter start living as I. Now, like how Bhagavan Krishna was living, never he cried, ever cheerful. Name parthasti kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptam varta evacha karmani. As Bhagavan Sri Krishna lived his life in this world, that's one of the basic difference is, in all other faiths they talk about the prophet. Here we talk directly about the God. There is no more running here and there. Straight away, listen from the horse's mouth, not the donkey's mouth. So, tataha te kim syad iti shruno. Therefore, here when Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, he is addressing to everybody, whosoever he may be. But when it is, just take an example. All the, let us say, Hindus. Now, among the Hindus, there are so many different acharyas. So, you take these acharyas as the prophets. Then what happens? These your Iyengars will tell one thing, and Iyers will tell one thing, the Pushti will say one thing, the Kashti will say one thing. And there will be only differences. Similarly, when you talk about only the prophet, you will be only disintegrating. But if you talk about the Lord, then there is no disintegration. Therefore, nivasisasi nivatsasi nishchayena madatmana. You shall thereafter abide as I. Madatmana mayi nivasam karishyasi. Nivasa means nishchena vasaha, nivasaha. There won't be any ambiguity about your own identity. What is our present condition? Our present condition is, sometime, when we are like, Ganga gaye Gangadas, Jamna gaye Jamnadas. One person told me, Swamiji, it is very difficult to understand what you want to say. I said, why, what happened? When we listen bhakti from you, we feel only bhakti is the best, nothing else. Then, after that, from here, I went to Bombay. And there are some common denominators. There I was taking Panchadashi. Swamiji, are you the same who talk bhakti there and Panchadashi here? So I feel whether I should follow this or I follow that. I said, you are confused. So, Mayi nivasam karishyasi nishchena vasaha nivasaha. You will have no ambiguity, no doubt. See? Doubt comes only in duality. Do you have the doubt about your own being? Swami Akhandanji tells some small things which he hears from others. He doesn't, tell the things about things, but somebody told me like that he tells. He said, one person, having some problem, and doctor was called, everybody was around, and then the doctor took the pulse, and he said, I think Babaji khatam ho gaye. So everybody started crying. And Babaji said, nahi, abhi to main jinda hu, mara nahi main. The wife says, chup baitho ji. Who knows? Do you know more than the doctor or what? Chup. So, there is no nivasa, nishchena vasa. There is no ambiguity, there is no doubt about it. So, mayi nivasam karishyasi ata eva ataha sharira patat urdhvam. Sharira patat urdhvam means after you discard the present manifestation as an individual, that means as long as you are living in the body, you will have that notion of otherness, etc. But once the limitation of the body is discarded, sharira patat urdhvam, after the body dies. Now here also we should very clearly understand. Now by now you must have had sufficient sanskar of Vedantic understanding. See, after the body falls, The body falls many ways. First of all, the body falls when we commonly call as death. Second time, the body falls when we go to sleep. There is no identification with the body. Third, when you come to discover that body I cannot be, body cannot be mine, when the Dehatma Bhav is discarded totally. So, Sharira Patat Urdhvam should not be taken only in a dull-witted manner. After death, one goes to heaven. No, there is no death in between. Please understand. It is only the body identification which is creating the problem. So whether you discard the body identification because of some medicine, or because you go to sleep, or because of realization of the truth. So here, depending upon our understanding, we'll interpret this thing. So when a dualist will talk about it, see, Bhagavan also says, Sharira Patat Urdhvam. After one dies, one becomes one with Lord, we go to Vaikuntha. So further you don't have to die, go to a society, Ville Parle, Vaikuntha Housing Society. Very easily. You don't have to die. So Sharira Padat Urdhvam, na samshaya, samshaya atra na kartavyaha. One should not have any doubt in this. So this is the first step. How do we attain the freedom from this relative existence? This is the technique which is of the highest quality. Who can do this? He whose mind listens to him. Mayeva mana adasva. Like we tell our children. See, Swamiji has come, namaskar karo, salute him. There are different languages. Namaskar kar, Pune, Punjabi, matha teko. Then go to Sindhis, perepo. That means namaskar karo. Marwadi, dukha. South Indian, Sashtanga Dalal says. So, it is so simple. If our mind is under control, then only this will happen. But our condition is like our relation with the children. They never listen to us. So you have to tell them, Namaskar, why should I do? You do it. You do on my behalf also. In the same manner, Mayeva mana adasva. Why should I think about God? I think better things, So, Mayeva mana adasva. And then we get frustrated. You just observe, friends, this thing. Then you will understand what I am telling, what is the meaning of spiritual practice. When you become aware that you want to study, and the mind is running, you just can't. On the contrary, if you have that faculty, what is that faculty? You sit for reading. In one go, you are clear 100%. You will never be short of time in life. Now what happens? We take this thing, Tesham mad upasainaka paranam aham ishvara samudharta. Why they have written in Sanskrit? They have written in English, would have been better. Do you think that you will understand anything here? Our mind is not receptive, it is reactive. And therefore these problems come. So, this is the technique for the highest quality of students who have gone through the karma, purified their mind. Who have gone to the upasana, made the mind single pointed. Who have gone through the yogaabhyas and therefore Sanyami is attained. Such a person alone can practice this. Mayeva manadasva, may buddhim niveshaya, nivasishayeva, ata urdhvam na samshayaha. And the most important, ata urdhvam na samshayaha. But if you start, I don't know, suppose I do so much and if it doesn't happen, then you are having doubt. And what is the most important thing on a spiritual path? Shraddha. You have to start. No, it will happen. Otherwise, if we start with a doubt, we cannot go ahead. Therefore, Bhagavan says, those who have got now here, Ata Urdhvamna Samshayaha means what? You are free from the virus of doubt and suspicion, therefore you are full of Shraddha. Second thing, your mind has become purified, therefore it is no more running here and there. Third, your mind has become single-pointed, therefore you can fix the mind on me. And fourth, your mind or yourself is extremely disciplined, therefore there is no frustration. Frustration is an expression of an indisciplined existence. Those who are self-disciplined, they are never frustrated. And whenever we are frustrated, we are not self-disciplined. Therefore, Ata Urdhvam na samshayaha. Now, after having said this, Bhagavan gives another option. Because you give somebody something, you take this medicine, and then you go to the market and you don't get that medicine. Like it happened yesterday, some doctor gave me some medicine. You take this thing. So the person who was conducting me went to the same hospital dispensing counter. No, it is not here. You can go to that place. About half a dozen shops we searched. I said, this is the best medicine he has given. Yes, this is very, very effective medicine. I said, it is so effective, it is not available. What is the use of a medicine which is not available? So, what is the use of the practice that you are telling us, sir? Because our mind is not under our control. We have never lived a disciplined life. We have never done the karma for the purification of the mind. We have never done upasana so that the mind becomes single-pointed. By upasana, we have asked more things and made mind multi-pointed. This is our condition. So what we can do? So the teacher gives another option. 9th verse. Atha chittam samadhatum Maishak nashaknoshi mai sthiram Abhyasa yogena tataha Mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Now you remember our Patanjali Yoga Darshan, where we are told Atha yoga anushasanam yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. The yogaha chitta vritti nirodha mayyeva manadasva mayi buddhim niveshaya. हो गया? You say yoga chitta vritti nirodha. But this is not happening by reading Yoga Chitta Vritti, nothing has happened. Don't have doubt, but what is the use of that which cannot happen to us? Then, Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyanta Nirodha. Now say the same sutra. Atha Chittam Samadhatum Na Shaknoshi Mai Sthiram Abhyasa Yogena Tataha Mamichhaptum Dhananjaya. Similarly, you go to chapter 6 and in that chapter 6 when Arjun says Chanchalam Ivana Krishna Pramati Balavadrudham Tasyaham Nigraham Manne Vayoriva Sudushkaram. Oh Lord, you told me that Sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha atmopammena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. This is very difficult, impossible. What Bhagavan says? Yes, it is impossible. No, it is difficult, not impossible. Then, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruyate. Is your sutra. Here also the same thing. Abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Therefore, if you study now by God's grace, Upanishad we have studied, Patanjali Darshan is going on, Bhagavad Gita we are studying, we have studied also Panchadasha and other things. Now you must be able to synthesize the whole thing in your understanding. Then you see your life becomes so effortless. You will never become a pakshi. Pakshi means what? Holding to one particular thing. Paksha means one side. Pakshi means the one who is, no, I believe only in Vishishta Advaita. I don't believe in Advaita. No, I believe only in Dvaita. I don't believe in Advaita. No, I believe only Advaita, not in the Ramanujacharya's Vishishta Advaita. All that will disappear. And therefore, all this what you have been studying, don't just stop it here itself. This must remain as your lifelong preoccupation. And other things will happen in life. Don't bother that. But this you have to do. This will not happen. This you have to do. Like, health we have to maintain. Diseases will automatically come. You don't have to do for that. Quiet mind you have to maintain. Disturbed mind automatically happens. Therefore, now the teacher says, अथ चित्तम समाधातुम न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम अथ एवं यथा अवोचाम तथा. As I have told, what I have told in the last verse, Mai eva manadasva mai buddhim niveshaya. Now see one more point you can see in this. In the last verse, what was said? Two words, mana and buddhi. And in this verse what is said? Atha chittam samadhatum. See? Mind plus buddhi together constitutes chitta. Otherwise, why Bhagavan would have used a single word to indicate mind and buddhi, mind and intellect? See? Now what is the chitta? Chitta is the impressions on the mind is called as chitta. Chit plus ta, chitta. Chit is consciousness. Ta is takaro vishayadhyasa. Ta is the sense of otherness, objectivity. Now, which is that thing because of which the object is considered as valid is mind and intellect, is it not? So, chitta is therefore what? Mind and intellect put together, which creates objectivity as a reality. And chit is the consciousness. That means that knowledge where objectivity, duality is considered to be real, that quality of knowledge is called as the chitta. Therefore, atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai stiram. Atha evam yatha avochama tatha. As we have just told, in the same manner, if you cannot fix your mind and intellect in me. Now see, fixing the mind in the Lord means what? It is not like, fixing the key into the hole of the lock. No. What it means? It means this sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. So when every sankalpa vikalpa of our mind reminds us of the Lord, then our mind is fixed in the Lord. This is the meaning. So if in this way, if you cannot do this, then second thing is chittam. Second thing is buddhi. Now what was the buddhi? Buddhi is the one which is the deciding factor in our life. So when the buddhi is convinced of the importance of something, then only buddhi is committed to that. So when we have recognized the importance of this absolute reality, then only we will be committed to walk this path. And in case you have this notion, no, that is all true, but when you have to live in this world, then your conviction is compromising. It is so true. Therefore, when these two things put together is called as chitta. So, atha chittam. Mai chittam samadhatum sthapayitum sthiram achalam na shaknosi chet. So, if you are not able to practice what I told you to fix your mind and intellect together called as chitta, in me samadhatum sthapayitum sthiram achalam. So if you are not able to firmly establish your mind and intellect in me, then tataha, if this is your problem, then paschat, then what you should do? Abhyasa yogena, practice. This is what is another very important aspect of the spiritual sadhana. This you please understand. Then it becomes better. See, what is most important in our life is understanding. If you understand, things happen. Like we understand. If you put your fingers into the live socket of electrical current, you get a shock. Then you are not required to be told that don't put your fingers there, because you understood now. In the same manner, we have to understand this. If you are in the field of matter, which includes panchakoshas, which include the objective world, which include the ego, and this is the one where Vikruti is natural. Where there is Prakriti, Vikruti is natural. And therefore we have to keep on doing purification process till the last moment. See? The other day somebody asking me this question. Swamiji, when we listen to you in the lecture, everything is so fine and clear, there is no doubt about it. But when we go back, again the same thing begins. What is to be done? We forget everything. So I didn't say anything. Swamiji, please explain, don't just brush us like that. I said, I'll ask you a question, you reply me. Then I'll reply your question. Yes. See, Mahatma Ji, what happens, in the morning I take breakfast, and again at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock I feel hungry, I don't know what I should do. So again take food. Again I have to take food. Yes, good. Again I take food at 12 o'clock. And I don't know what happens, it remains all right, hunger is no more there. And again at 5 o'clock I feel hungry and I feel so uncomfortable, what I should do? Again take something to eat. Okay, I take that also. Again at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock I feel hungry, what I should do? Swamiji, why are you asking such stupid questions? I said, I am like that, what can I do? No, you are not replying my question. I said, if you have understood my reply, good. If you have not understood my reply, are you? Nothing to talk to you. In case of the Prakriti, Abhyasa is necessary. Therefore, all our spiritual practice is only what? Control, purification of the conditioning through which we are functioning. That is all. That is why our Upanishad says, Na karmanana prajaya dhanena tyage neki amrutatva manashu. What we have to give up? We have to give up the Prakriti where we are functioning. And how do you give up? Running away. You can't run away anywhere. See? Now understand this through example. We are here studying under the auspices of our Kaivalyada. Now here, if you develop a sense that this is mine, then the guarantee is you will be suffering. But the moment you know that here we are only for our studies, education, after this education study is over, we go away. And the same thing is applicable to every place, every situation, every person. See? The moment you discover this, you will never get disturbed in your life. And for that, we have to do abhyas. Again and again remind. The moment you get hurt, the moment you get disturbed, the moment you feel depressed, low, recognize that you are holding on to something. Give up. And what is the giving up? Only recognize. Never ever anything belongs to you in this world. See? And this we have to practice. Because with what we are holding? With the mind. Then by the mind alone you can give it up, not by any other way. How do we hold anything by the mind? By giving value and importance. So if the value and importance is in our mind, it is the mind alone has to devalue and give zero importance. See? And this is called as abhyas. Again and again. Practice, educate yourself. So abhyasa yogena tataha. And when this is understood, friends, it becomes so easy, so easy. Nothing ever belongs to us in this world. Nothing ever is ever going to remain the same. It is going to be like that. Get out of this hang up on this world. And that is called as abhyas. That is spiritual practice. So what is the abhyas? Abhyasa yogena chittasya ekasmin alambane sarvataha samavritya punah punah sthapanam abhyasaha. See? Chittasya, of the chitta or the mind, ekasmin alambane, only in one reality. Alam means support, only one support. And what is one support? Then one support is get out of the relativity and be firmly established in the absolute. This is only one support. No other thing. Ekasmin alambane punah punah sarvataha samarutya. Sarvataha samarutya, pulling away from everywhere. Now where our mind is getting? Our mind is getting lost in the karma. Our mind is getting lost in the upasana. Our mind is getting lost in the yoga. And in that we get so much involved that the truth is forgotten. See? Therefore in the 5th chapter, like Bhagavan said, Yoginaha karma kurvanti. For what? Achieving anything in the outer world? No. Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So this is abhyas again and again, again and again. So punah punah sthapanam abhyasaha. Tat purvako yogaha samadhana lakshanaha. So abhyasa yogena means what? He who has thus practiced this. Then what will happen as a result? Tat purvakaha yogaha. When you practice this abhyas again and again, samadhana lakshanaha. You will be totally free from all impact of the relativity. Samadhana. Samyak adhanam, samadhanam. You are, adhana means to put, to keep. Samyak means properly. Where you have kept yourself, in the Prakriti or the Paramatma. If you are in the Prakriti, you will be disturbed. If you are established in the Paramatma, you will remain undisturbed. See? So the stages are first a small wave and a big wave. So the small waves are disturbed, big waves are not disturbed. But there also relativity, small, big, who is small, who is big. Then from there we get out the wave and the ocean. Waves are disturbed, born and die. Ocean never born, never dies. Then we go one step further, at the level of the water. There is no cause like ocean, there is no effect like waves. This is the technique. Samadhatum. So when we just go step by step, get out of the waves, come to the ocean. Get out of the ocean, come to the water. And after having come to the water, then you have reached the ultimate. Then you come to know that cause and effect are superimposed on me. Loss and gain are imagined in me. Duality is only the play of mind. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi maistiram abhyasa yogena tataha. So practice this again and again. So chittasya ekasmin alambane sarvataha samarutya punah punah sthapanam abhyasaha tat purvako yogaha samadhana lakshana. Tena abhyasa yogena. Now when you practice this, what you want to attain? Mam vishwarupam ichha prarthaya swa aptum praptum he dhananjaya. So by this abhyasa yoga, only desire one. What is that? To attain oneness with the absolute reality. Vishwarupam prarthayasva. That's the same example which I just now gave you. Living as a wave is living as a body. Then living as a wave with reference to the ocean is living as the jiva. Then living as the ocean is living like a Ishvara. And living as water is going beyond the Jiva Jagat Ishvara triumph. This is what is meant here. Vishwarupam Ichha Prarthayasva. Let that be the goal. Getting out of this relative world and getting established in this absolute truth. Prarthayasva. So, here, what is the now spiritual practice? Spiritual practice has got now two aspects. One aspect is control over matter or the conditioning through which we are functioning, and the second is control over matter having achieved. Where do you apply this controlled mind? Two aspects. It is something like this, Take an example. I have learned how to shoot perfectly. And it is not a simple job, it is difficult. I had done a lot of spiritual practice or shooting practice rather, and now I can shoot exactly in the center of the bullseye. Very good. Now the question is, where do I apply this ability to shoot? Where do I apply? See? You have got the power, you have got the ability, where do you apply? Do you apply this ability to destroy others? Do you apply this ability to terrorize others? Or do you apply this ability for something higher? In the same manner. There Bhagavan says, Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. When you do abhyasa, and by the abhyas, here abhyas means what? Therefore, in our language of Patanjali Maharshi, it is Sayyama. When you have attained perfect Sayyama, and as a result of this Sayyama, now where do you apply this Sayyamit mind? See? Go back to the second chapter. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati Sayyami. See? Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. Where is this Sayyami awakened? He is awakened to that non-dual reality where the ignorant people are sleeping. And this Sayyami is sleeping to the duality and the relativity where the ignorant people are awake. This is what is meant. Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. Therefore, these are two aspects. One aspect is by the practice attain Sayyama and don't employ this Sayyama for getting the siddhis. Because the moment you are aware of your own powers, you cannot but want to exhibit and try them. The best example I can give you from our Mahabharata is Durvasa Rishi blessed Kunti with the mantra that if you chant this mantra and remember any god without the mortal method of creating the children, without disturbing your virginity, you will be blessed with the children. Now she got that power. As a child, she was very young that time, hardly in her mid-teenage. Then, let me try. See? Very difficult. You have the power and to keep it free from that. And this can happen only under one condition. Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. Therefore, it is extremely necessary that we practice yoga abhyas, we practice karma, we practice knowledge, everything, but ultimately we must remember that this is surrender for searching the truth. Or else again we get lost in the relative world. Therefore here the word is Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. Desire to recognize the truth, not desire about the relative world again. See, in the life of our Vivekananda it comes now. When he was having financial problem and all that, he went to his guru and asked, "Sir, why don't you tell mother to get me all the problems?" He said, "Okay, you go and talk to her directly. I will request her to talk to you. She will talk to you. Go." The moment he stood before the mother, he cannot ask anything about the matter. It cannot happen. If you are sincerely praying to the Lord, not a single thought about the worldly things will erupt in your mind. If you stand before the Lord and a single thought about the worldly things come in your mind, you are not a devotee. This is the equation. And if you have to ask, only one thing: "Oh Lord, help me to discover your presence in and through everyone." That's it. Let us become a fit instrument for the Lord to express through us. Therefore, abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. After having said this, now it appears as if Arjuna was again scratching his head or nose. I don't know whether I will be able to do this abhyas also or not. Bhagavan said, "Okay, Baba." 10th verse. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhimavapsyasi. Abhyase api asamartha asi. Now be very attentive. The most difficult challenge for everyone is to stay by oneself, not feel lonely, not feel disturbed, not feel depressed, and not talk to yourself. Just imagine there is a machine. It has not come so far. You switch on the machine, and all that you talk in your mind is recorded in that machine. And after that, you switch on that machine. You will not believe that this is yours. Like the snoring people, they don't believe that they snore. So what is to be done? You keep a tape recorder. In one house they have done. That man is to snore so bad, terrible, as if the bhukampa is coming. So the children have one day made a tape, full tape, going both ways, C90, and going on. And thereafter, any time dad says anything, they start that tape. This is you. And it is so rhythmic, as if it is in a mala government. So, here, abhyasa is very difficult. The other day I was talking to the judges in Bombay. After telling this thing, some practical hints. So I suggested this thing. I said, look here, if you really want to help yourself, try this. Expose yourself into utter silence, completely cut off from the whole world, at least 10-15 minutes a day. Start. Don't have your TV, newspaper, office, wife, children, government, your job, and phone. Nothing. Only by yourself. And then you will see all the pus start coming out. Now this is very difficult. Therefore Bhagavan says, Abhyase api asamartha asi. It is not so simple. That's why people go for a solitary walk with each other. So the name is solitary walk, and they go with each other. Therefore, abhyase api asamartaha asi. A person who is exposing himself to this discipline, he is doing a great service to himself. And don't start with a huge silence. You will not succeed. Start with little bit. Decide a particular time. 10 minutes. Now in this 10 minutes, there is nothing that is to be done, achieved, etc. Just be. Just remain. Only for 10 minutes. If you have got a fear, suppose I sit like this and get into Samadhi for 30,000 years, then you put an alarm clock after 10 minutes. And just, but then you'll keep on waiting. Now 10 minutes are over, 10 minutes are over. Still they are not over. Again you start talking. Just try this. Slowly, slowly you will understand how difficult it is. Keeping this difficulty in view, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Abhyase api asamartha asi ashakta asi tarhi mat karma paramo bhava. Now the third option. Now what is the third option? You cannot keep quiet. Yes, I can't keep quiet. Work ahead. Then mat karma paramo bhava. Let everything be done for my sake. The third option. Mat karma paramo bhava means do everything for my sake, for the sake of the Lord. Now see the load of this statement. Don't go at a superficial level. Mat karma paramo, mat karma pradhanaha ityartaha. Madartham karma, mat karma. That means when everything is done for the sake of the Lord, what does it mean? See? If we go to so many houses, so many places. And now when we go, they give us special treatment. Suppose we have to sit in a chair. Now on that chair, they will put on the best clean new cloth. Not the one which was used for wiping the floor. Swamiji are acha. Sit Swamiji. No. Why? Because we are doing it for someone whom we respect and revere. First. Second thing. When we receive somebody whom we respect and revere, we do that with all cheer, joy and happiness. Swamiji is coming, anyway. Aage Swamiji, acha, come on, sit down. No. With all the freshness, taking a nice bath with the chair, and everything is nice, fragrance, agarbattis and everything. Everybody is dressed well. Because we are doing it for the sake of the person whom we respect. If this happens with the mortal frame, how much more important it will be if we become aware. Everything that we are doing is for the sake of the Lord. The following things will happen. The first thing will be, we will never be tired in life. Tiredness is at two levels. One is at the level of body, and second is at the level of mind. The tiredness at the level of body goes away after you have a good sleep for maybe for a day or two. It goes away. But the tiredness which is at the level of the mind takes you to depression, takes you to lack of interest in life. takes you to lack of self-confidence, takes you to a condition where you come to realize, my life is a waste. Such people who are courageous, they commit suicide. Those who are not courageous, they go for traveling. And this physical tiredness is not a problem. Real tiredness is the mental tiredness. And when we do something for the sake of the Lord, this mental tiredness will disappear. See? Life will be full of charm, joy, happiness. Mat karma paramo bhava. First thing. Second thing, whenever we do something for the sake of the Lord, that will be our best performance. It will not be done just like that. I don't know who does my room, whosoever may be doing. When I come, I feel so good. Everything is so beautifully, perfectly kept. See? Now why this happens? Because we are doing for someone whom we love, whom we respect. If we become aware of this fact, like Shabari was doing, any day the Lord may come. So every action becomes the worship. Mat karma paramo bhava means what? Do not lead a life of duty-oriented existence. Lead your life as a devotion-oriented existence. Normally with karma, we get lost only in duties. See? I do this thing, this is my duty, what to do, Swamiji? I am fed up. How long I had to do this duty? The other day somebody spoke to me. Swamiji, I am fed up of life. I kept quiet. I said, Amma, I am also fed up. How come? You feed me so much. So I am fed up. No, I don't mean that. I said, as you are fed up of the world, maybe your husband, your children or whatever it is, I am fed up of the food. So what is fed up? A mental tiredness. Why mental tiredness comes? I am doing. See? On the contrary, if every action of ours is a worship of the Lord, mat karma paramo bhava, then you will not be fed up of your life. See how important it is. A spiritual seeker, if he finds that he is getting fed up, bored, I don't know what for I am living, I am useless, nothing in this world, everything is an illusion, we are told, anything, now I have no interest. If this starts happening, understand you are going the wrong way. A spiritual seeker should never have this kind of negative feeling in his mind, not even once. 2 or 3 days before, one person rang me from Gujarat somewhere. हमको स्वामी जी से बोलना है. I said, बोल रहा हूं. Speaking. नहीं, आपसे नहीं. स्वामी अनुभवानंद जी से बोलना है. Then I said, स्वामी अनुभवानंद महाराज बोल रहे हैं. And now you sound like Swamiji. After that, she spoke, one Gujarati lady. I was so thrilled and happy. She said, Swamiji, I have nothing to say about my life. It continues. There is nothing to be discussed. I want only one thing. You should be all the time around me. And if you are all the time around me, what will be my experience? Please tell me. Then I will know that you are around me all the time. Please don't leave me. I never seen who is that lady. I said, look here, I will be all the time around you whenever you are happy and cheerful. And if you are disturbed and miserable, I have gone away. Really? I said, yes. Then I promise I will never be miserable and disturbed. See? If we are living in this world for His sake, remember Tasmin Tat Sukha Sukhitvam. If our love for the Lord means that the Lord is not miserable because of us, then that is real love. This is what is meant here. Mat karma paramo bhava. Get out of the duty orientation and get established in the devotion orientation. Mat karma paramo bhava. So, madartham karma, mat karma, tat paramaha, mat karma pradhanaha ityartaha. See, each and every word Bhagavan Shankara writes so beautiful. You cannot miss it. So, what is the best summary of this first line? First of all, if you should fix your mind and intellect in the Lord, you cannot. Abhyas, you cannot. They get out of that you are doing the duty. No duty. We are in the field of devotion. All those who do duty, they have to retire. See, there was one person in Calcutta long time back. He was conducting these Balvihar classes. And one day, our Swamiji was having a yajna. I was also there. And he suddenly came on the stage, that man, and told, I have decided to retire from this Balvihar conducting things. And hereby tender my resignation. Without talking one word, directly came on stage. Then afterwards, Swamiji said, will you say the same thing that I want to retire from serving my mother? Will you say the same thing that you retire from serving my daughter? You cannot. Service which talks of retirement is a job. Service which doesn't talk of retirement is a devotion. Mat karma paramo bhava. Therefore, many of us are very sincere in our duties, but we forget that duty is binding us. We have to get out of this duty orientation and get established in the devotion. Remaining you will see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.